April.
And she's Molly.
And we are
the Book Besties.
This is the number of words I didn't understand.
I promise I read it.
Y'all are nasty. Stop that shit.
Pretty sure I loved Tom before I met him.
Tom knows what he's doing. There's so much. There's just so much.
I feel like that wasn't loud enough. The Book Besties!
The Book Besties! Oh my god, what a shitty week it has been. It is so yucky out here.
Mm-hmm.
It has been yucky for days.
Mm-hmm.
Days of just yuck.
Yeah, we're getting the same weather here.
That's because we live like
4 hours from each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As the crow flies. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying. Cool. I can't even say the word. Never moving on.
Colloquialisms.
Yes, that's it.
Okay. So today is my day off before I enter into 3 weekends in a row of work.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit. Mm. And after that is con. So
actually, after that is family camp.
Oh, and then con. Oh yeah, you're just doing great.
And then the weekend after that is Tom's birthday party. Yeah. He's turning 42 this month, and we're doing a Douglas Adams party for him.
I'd love that. I wish we could come.
I still think you should.
I might just leave Matt.
You can come without him.
Ditch the boy. Ditch the boy.
I need to officially send invites. I don't know if it's okay to do this, but I'm just gonna do a Facebook invite.
Do it.
Just invite.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
I haven't had to throw a birthday party for an adult in a while.
The last time I threw an adult birthday party, I didn't have kids.
Mm. I mean, I had one for Tom when we were in Texas when he turned 30.
Yeah. I remember that. I did.
That's pretty much it.
Every birthday party Matt's had that I've thrown him was a Piper birthday party. And it's like, hey, adults hang out after. We're going to drink.
Yeah.
That.
And I did have a party for Tom when we first moved into the house we live in now. Uh-huh. But I didn't plan it. Tom invited his 2 closest friends. And then they just came over. And I took the boys. We were still living in our previous rental. We weren't moved in here yet. Basically, the only furniture in here was a couch. And I left Tom, took the boys back to our house, and came back the next afternoon, and he was still passed out drunk.
Nice. Because that's a good ass party.
That's what happens when he gets with his friends.
That's a good party.
Yeah.
That's a good party.
He's just a different guy when he's with the sailors.
I mean, facts.
Yeah. But I'm doing some pretty cool stuff at work this month. Battle of the Books. I'm very excited to see Christina Harrington, CC Harrington.
I know.
Author of Wild Oak.
We love her.
Yeah, we interviewed her last year at the Annapolis Book Festival, and we read her book for Battle of the Books in the city where I run
the location where you live.
The secret location in coastal Virginia where I live. And she agreed to come, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna have dinner with her, and it's just gonna be great.
That's nice. I want to talk about this on here, and then I don't want to talk about it anymore. I no longer have a big kid job.
Yeah.
So I'm back to writing and stuff.
Yeah.
But so you guys aren't going to be hearing about that on here anymore.
Yeah.
It didn't end well, and my mental illness was blamed, so that was fun. So yeah. But I want to move on from that. But I wanted to bring that up on here because I know people are going to ask, because I did talk about it a lot there at the beginning. So
I mean, your private life is always your private life. You don't have to share anything.
No, we cut off about it, and that was 5 episodes ago or so, and I just kind of got quiet about it. So that's why, gang. That's why. So Molly's back to writing for now.
Back to writing. and back
Reading
to covering all
all
of
the
April's slack.
con, all the con books.
Yes. Do you want to
And
show those off now, or do you want to do it at the
let's
end?
do it at the end. I want
Okay.
to talk about this week's book. This week's book. Okay. This week's book is How to Lose.
This is how.
This see, yeah, this is how you lose the time war by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone.
I knew this book would be shit when Madeline Miller was the one that blogged.
See, I saw TikToks, and like the TikTokers I was following, I'm not going to call you out because I trust your reviews. And you said this was funny and fun and light and bitch.
There are.
Do you know what this sticky note is, bitch? This is the number of words I didn't understand. There's 15 of them on there.
There are a lot of favorable reviews on Goodreads of this book. I'm pretty sure it has close to a 4-star rating. I'm opening Goodreads right now.
It's gone down to like a 3, I think.
Maybe that was because we both rated it so lowly.
I haven't rated it yet. I'm going to.
Well, I did.
It
has a 3.92 on Goodreads, which is a really good Goodreads review. And there's actually some authors, like who am I thinking of? The author V.E. Schwab of
I know who you're talking about.
The Addie LaRue.
Yeah.
Addie LaRue author. She gave it 5 stars. Said it was incredible.
It is definitely one of the brainy books. It is definitely pretentious. It is down pretentious lane. It is definitely in the NPR group. You are definitely going that direction when you're reading this book.
But I don't mind pretentious books. We'd had this discussion when we read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and basically every time we read John Green,
right?
Which we are out of. We only have like one John Green book.
But he's retired, so we can't fucking. There's nothing we can do. John Green never sees until he's on, but we can't, dude. We can't. John, what the fuck?
I know. So anyway, I don't mind pretentious books, but this book was unnecessarily pretentious. There were parts that was like
15 words I didn't know.
I was Googling a lot of words too. I didn't count them, but there were a lot. I was like, I don't even know 2 words in the sentence.
Right. Well, it's because I count them because it makes my brain feel better that I'm like, see, you're not stupid. You just, there's only 15 words in this whole book you didn't know.
So this book is really popular. I was telling somebody at work I was reading it, and she was like, oh, is that like a queer romance novel? And I was like, no. And I hadn't gotten to the point yet where they were in love. And I know I'm saying all this before we've even given a synopsis, but she has friends who run a queer book club. And so they only read like queer
novels. That's amazing.
Novels, right. And this is one that they read. And so I was like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe right now I don't understand.
You're like, I think possibly it could be.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like,
can you just give us a synopsis?
I will. I will. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. A synopsis. Red and blue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not. You know what? I'm not. I'm not either. I'm not. Red and blue, 2 sides of a coin, fighting in the endless war that is time. Red, an agent for the Commandant, and Blue, an agent for the Garden, are fighting throughout the strands of time. At first, Blue writes Red a taunt or some way to break up the monotony of her existence. As the two communicate throughout time and space, they slowly fall in love and realize they are being watched. Weird shit happens throughout this book, and the two are never truly together. The survival book has the internet divided on if it's brilliant or terrible. It is just plain confusing. I'm just plain confused, and I'm still not sure what I read. Let's get into it. So first question. We have read several co-author novels on this pod. What did you think of the writing style of El-Mohtar and Gladstone together?
I couldn't tell it was two authors.
I couldn't either.
There are some books that we read that I can tell very clearly, like, this person's writing this character and this person's writing this character. But I have to say, I know they have, like, a large back catalog separately,
Huge.
but, like, this is a novella. Like,
It is.
this is less than 200 pages. You really needed two people to write this. This is like that Justin Bieber song that had 20 authors and
Oh,
the whole
baby.
thing was "Oh baby,
Yeah.
oh baby." Like, come on.
Baby, baby,
20
baby,
authors on that.
oh, my
What
baby.
were they doing?
And Usher was one of them.
Was there an author per letter? Like, I don't understand.
Everybody put a baby in. No,
Right.
no, my guy. You need a baby here on that hook, not there on the hook. And now he's on the song, and now he gets credits for it.
But I couldn't tell there were two authors. It was pretty seamless.
It was seamless. It was seamless. I would be interested to see how they wrote, you know, every two author duo has like a different origin story, right? Good Omens started as letters of friends writing back and forth. And the Royal We was a blog, right? And so I would be really interested to see how this came about. But like you said, you've never read either of them before? I haven't either. I mean, they were new to me until
and
I
I've
saw
heard
this.
both of them.
I have too.
But I've
seen
never
their
read
names. Amal, she is really well known in the poetry's world. She's really versed in that world and like gotten all these NPR awards and stuff, and she's real in that world. And Max is real deep into the sci-fi world. So
yeah,
that's who they are. I've never read them. I don't know who they are. They're strangers to me. They don't exist in our realm normally. The only reason this one,
I won't read them again.
The only reason this popped up is because it was on TikTok.
Well, and also partially this is my fault because when I was starting to make the social media stuff for this month, I saw one of the books you picked and I was like, nope, I'm not reading that. Nope.
The only reason I picked this was because, again, unnamed TikToker swore it was hilarious. I needed a short, funny read.
Molly, there were parts of it that I laughed. And I read something to Tom.
Where?
Okay, so you know how they talk about like the sealing of letters?
Yeah.
Like the proper way to seal letters? But then Red seals a letter inside a seal.
Yeah.
Like a live
seal. Oh, yeah.
So I read that to Tom and he thought that was fucking hilarious.
See, it's not us.
It's the humor, the same humor that you find in Tom's other favorite books.
Yeah.
It's that.
We're not the intended audience, I don't think.
No.
We're not.
No. And I do like sci-fi, but this is not accessible sci-fi.
No. This isn't. I
don't know.
No. Starting early, page 16, we learn that both agents are affecting time. And this is part of their war. I could not help but think about the butterfly effect throughout this whole novel. With the massive amounts of symbolism the author are shoving down our throats, what do you think the point of all this is? Like, why bring up the butterfly effect and like all the symbolism and what's their fucking point?
I think if I tell you my answer to this now, it will give away the ending.
Gotcha.
But I saw references to Doctor Who.
Yep.
And references to like Spy versus Spy.
Yeah.
This is like it's like the Doctor Who ongoing plot about the Master and the Doctor. And how they chased each other through time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what it is. Except, well, I don't know. When we get to the steampunk Doctor, the Master she was kind of in love with him.
She made me think of Mary Poppins.
Misty,
I don't know why.
Is that her name, Misty? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I think she was my favorite of the Doctors or of the Masters.
I haven't seen the one where NPH is him yet.
I haven't either. But is that what he is? Is he playing the Doctor? I thought he was playing something else.
He's playing something else, but he's
He's the doctor?
He's
Or
he's
he's the
he's
master?
he's the master in another format, I believe.
Gotcha.
I think it's like after, because the master goes crazy, right?
Yeah.
Tick
Mhm.
tock,
Mhm.
time, all that jazz, and he gets trapped and he loses his mind and he's going
Mhm.
all crazy. I think it's post him losing his mind.
Well, there's another
And he's like
doctor
more
with
insane.
there's another master with
A
Jodie
Gallifreyan.
Whittaker's Jodie Whittaker's doctor
Yeah.
has a master, and he's not. I guess he's the one that must precede Misty because Misty dies. The
Yeah.
master sacrifices herself.
Yeah.
So all the
Because
spoilers for Doctor Who,
I mean, it's been out for a bazillion years. If
and you can still watch it though because Tom and I are still working our way through. We
I
haven't
mean,
finished the Jodie Whittaker series
I
seasons,
here's
but
the thing. I don't think I'll ever understand this book.
no,
I'm not
I
going
th-
to.
I think
It wasn't intended for me to understand it.
I have very strong feelings about why they fought time. Um, and I'm going to share them at the end
Okay.
because it's the reason that I ended up giving this book such a low rating. It was building on me. Like, I was like, okay, okay, okay.
But
No,
no.
no,
I never was rooting for this book.
no.
The only thing I've ever did for this book was like, I really need this book to be done.
Yeah.
I really need this book to be done, and it's hurting my brain and I don't understand it. And
Yeah.
that is every time I started this book, I was like, I don't want to pick it up because I don't understand it.
And did
And
you listen to the audiobook or did you read
I
it?
listened to the audiobook, which was really good. Like the narrators were great, but I had to follow along. I had to follow along because I needed subtitles because I don't understand all these words.
So I read the physical book, which I don't usually do when you're the host. Usually that's my audiobook. But I am reading for con, so I was finishing up something like
Yeah.
that. And I would literally just go, don't know that word, set the book down, Google. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense.
Yep. I would have to pause,
Mm-hmm.
open the book. That's half of these tabs are either notes I've taken
Mm-hmm.
or words I don't understand that I had to
Yeah.
look up.
And it's told in like a collection of like letters.
Letters. So
Um
it starts where like one of the red or blue will start a monologue of some sort.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
what's
they're
happening in their
right,
timeline.
right. But it's all like vague and facetious and
Mm-hmm.
just ramblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're computer robot bullshits who are slowly becoming more aware and like falling in love with each other and more human, okay, as time goes on. They're
Uh-huh.
becoming more human. And then they write a letter. And then it goes to the other person's point of view, and so on and so forth. That's how
You
this story is told.
did you think they were both robots?
Yes.
Okay, so I thought that red was an android and maybe blue was like a seed.
Oh, I don't know. I assumed they were both some sort of mechanical, otherworldly beings who are slowly becoming aware and like understanding and human.
Well, there was this discussion of this being how they're handling Earth, but they had done this on other planets too.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminded me of the awful Stephanie Meyer book, The Host.
I couldn't even read that.
It was really bad. But anyway, they talk about timeline as threads. So it's
Yeah.
up thread and down thread and
It made me think of string theory. And we've
oh
been
yeah.
watching Big Bang with
Oh
the kids
yeah,
again.
because they also talk about the different strings with threads within the
Right.
thread.
And like they're labeled like
Mhm.
colors. So it's
Mhm.
like B1275
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
MS number 4. And it's like, who knows these codes, you dumbass?
Well, they made them up for the book.
I
Like they're
know.
not real. But
Well, that we know of.
I
That
didn't
we
I
know
didn't
of.
I thought that
Maybe
blue
they
was
know
some
something
sort
we
of
don't.
like plant thing.
Hmm. I don't know. I really don't. And that's like, I think the fucking point of this book. Okay, that's question 2. Ready for question 3?
Yep.
And you didn't think we'd fill an episode.
I still don't. I'm not
We're 20
optimistic.
minutes in. We're doing good. There is so much, so many. There's so much. There's just so much.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm. Yep. The much is much.
The much is so much.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many places in time these characters could have traveled to and been a part of. But
Mm-hmm.
the author purposely spoke of Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, the lost city of Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about the boy that commits suicide, Chanston or whatever. I did look that up too. Um,
And they
these
talk about Apollo 1.
Yep. These are key points in time, or Atlantis, we think is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That our worlds change or life changes, right? These
Mm-hmm.
are all like pinnacle spiraling butterfly effect
Mm-hmm.
bullshit points that changes. What do you think that the implications that in the symbolism that the authors are using in these points in time to choose these specific points as metaphors,
I
right?
think
Or
I
just
think they picked points in time that would be they would be well known by everybody. You're not picking like that minor story that happened in
well,
backwater Louisiana.
what about that boy that like the painting of the boy that committed suicide and they write poems about that Charleston one that they kept fucking talking about?
I mean, I was just like, I don't know what that one is.
And then there's a book they keep talking about that makes no sense. Uh
It's just assumed that was made up.
no, that's a real book too.
Mm.
Um but what I found interesting about it is Red is who works for the Commandant is always in the
Mm-hmm.
violent things.
Mm-hmm.
Red was at Caesar. Red was with Khan. Red is with all these aggressive, angry
Red
motherfuckers.
watches the Apollo 1 astronauts burn
Yep.
on the flight, um
Green. Green
wherever.
goes and not green. Blue. I like green. Green's my favorite color. I'm sorry, guys.
I know.
Blue is goes and helps people learn how to forage and becomes a wife and like is in the middle, the medieval times. Blue goes to Atlantis. Blue is never destruction. Blue is more of a builder. And
except
oh god,
except when they when they don't
me.
talk
Right.
in person, but the first time that they're in the same timeline together, Blue aggressively attacks a
Yeah.
lion to save Red.
It was a creature. I couldn't remember what creature it was.
I
I
don't
can't.
fucking know.
I don't either.
But
Or
we get the impression that even though Blue is the more nurturing one,
mhm.
that Blue is actually destroying the
Yeah,
earth.
just differently. It's
Hmm.
just different. And
Hmm.
and again,
They grow these plants that are
I don't know. I get their symbolism there. If you understand all this symbolism, write us an email. Bookbestiespod@gmail.com. Tell us, give us your full analysis of this book. We would love to understand it. Thank you.
mhm,
Um, yeah, great podcasting, Molly. These
mhm,
letters are their only point of contact, even though both Red and Blue have the technology and all the experience at their fingertips.
mhm.
Did you find the letter writing to be clever or romantic in any way? Was there any of the puzzles or letter finding that you liked or found the most interesting?
So I think the point of them not connecting in person was because they were on opposite sides of the war. So they're Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
And they can't come together because they are also kind of both the warriors of their groups.
Hmm.
Um I thought that the way that they delivered letters was like the most clever part, and the one that stuck out to me the most, besides the seal, because that was fucking hilarious,
That was nice.
was the smudge on Blue's bill at the
Yes.
hotel
Oh, I'm
in London.
sorry. Yes, that was so clever because he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. There's something wrong with your bill." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Let me see. Let me see." And they're like, "Oh," and she's like, "I'm gonna keep this."
Yep. I was just like, that. How?
How? It's really like some of them are really clever, and I was like, "Okay," but and then Like, did you see that embed when they were talking about the seals and the embeds? The first time they spelt it like embed, like you embed something in like soil.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's language conversation too
Mm-hmm.
because they use language differently.
Mm-hmm.
This book,
Yeah,
this book
and
is fucking. You're gonna be seeing this in college soon, kids.
and
Authors,
I actually really wanted to like this book.
yeah,
I think I was maybe like 20 pages in, and I texted you and said, I think I'm gonna like this one. And then uh, as time was going on, and the way that they were getting more clever and getting closer and falling in love through these letters, I was like, yeah, but I got to the point when I was like, oh, okay, it's like maybe like a 3.5,
yeah,
but the ending,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
And I don't know how you fall in love with somebody that you never meet, but then again, I'm pretty sure I loved Tom before I met him. So
I
maybe
mean,
that's hypocrisy. Um
I
I
fell in
don't
love with Matt over like our DMing, our messaging back and forth, our
Yeah, emails
emails.
was kind of how Tom and I. So, I mean, I guess you can. I don't know. I
You want
just,
the next
you know what
question?
they never explained that really left me baffled and kind of angry
Uh huh.
is that they have all these clever ways that they're leaving their letters for each other, but they never explain how they get them there.
Yeah.
Like,
No, there's a
there
couple
has to
things.
be, you had to have come to the same thread in
Right.
order to leave
How?
it.
When did you go to this thread in
Right.
time?
And
It's
then when the
interesting.
commandant shows Red that that Blue's threads have crossed hers and that the two of them are crossing threads frequently,
Hmm.
but never quite touching, really, she didn't figure out that
I
they were
Yep.
communicating with each other.
Yeah. Yep.
No, that's bullshit.
It is.
If the commandant is really that bad at her job, then they could have just hung out and fucked because she probably wouldn't even noticed.
Nope. And honestly, the thing that was frustrating for me, since we're talking about shit like this right now, um, we never understand the full structures of their militaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or who they belong to. We're
Mm-hmm.
just given their point of views. We're never really given full titles. We don't even know their real names, right?
Which we didn't realize we didn't know their real names until the
So the end.
end when Blue leaves a letter and Red
It's
says it has her real
real
name on
name
it.
on it. Yes. And it's like, oh, I didn't know you knew my real name. Wait, you have a real name?
Right.
um,
You know, we often complain about books that are too long on this podcast, but this book was too short. Like,
yeah.
I
I
don't
needed more
understand.
information.
I don't understand the story.
No, no. So let's just keep going. As Red and Blue get more versed in their letters writing, they become more human, in my opinion. To the reader, in my opinion. They seem to grow and wax on and become more enthralled with each other. Do
Mm-hmm.
you like this part of the storyline, or do you think letter? Do you like this part of the storyline? Do you think the letter writing makes this book romance?
I don't think this book was romantic.
I don't either.
I,
I don't
I
either.
mean, it starts really like from the beginning. You get the first letter from Blue, and she's like, "Ha ha ha!
I
I,
outsmarted you.
I, do you
That's
like
why.
what I left for you, Red?"
That's why I thought it was going to be a comedy. Like,
Yeah,
I am smarter than thee. Watch me beat you.
and
That's
I
where I
kind
got the
of
spy
got
versus spy vibe.
yeah. That's exactly where I got it. I kind of got the we're gonna try to best each other, you
Yeah,
know.
and that's
And I
not.
thought that's really funny.
That's clever. That's
Mm-hmm.
what the book. That's what I signed up for. That's the
Yeah.
book I signed up for. Not this letter writing Victorian romance in steampunk world. I
And
don't
I
get
just
it.
want to say that this is not us taking away from queer literature. Like,
No,
we both read
I love queer
books of
lit.
all kind, and we
I
read a
love
lot of
queer
queer
lit.
books.
I love queer
I'm
lit.
not taking away from this. I don't.
I don't. I didn't even
It just.
honestly
I
think it
don't
was
think that it
queer.
needed to be romantic.
Uh, let's get into that part next. Actually, this book is sci-fi, queer, time travel, steampunk, and romance somehow, or some people, or so people on the interweb say. Where do you put this book? You're a librarian. Where are we shelving this?
Well, I have my library's copy, and we put it as sci-fi.
Okay.
I time travel, so sci-fi for me.
I mean, it's predominantly just time travel.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, there is so many science-y fucking words in here that I understood. Like, I knew the word, like, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was a science word, but I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that sentence together makes no sense, but I'm assuming somewhere in the world someone understands that.
I just felt like the better story here was the competition between the two sides,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't need to. The letter writing could have continued to be funny, and we're one upping each other. And like, here's a seal. Like, you want me to seal my letters? I put it inside a fucking seal.
Seal, yeah,
Like, that's funny.
yeah, that's funny. It was, yeah. The Seeker, oh no. Okay, I jumped ahead, sorry. When we finally learn about the structure of their worlds, we don't really learn the full structure and their leadership. Was this what you expected, or did you feel like it, did you feel like it fit in the novel?
I feel like I don't care about military structure
Hmm.
because I mean, that might be something that's interesting to like maybe you and
I
maybe even
Yeah,
Matt and maybe even Tom, but to this day I still couldn't tell you what the difference in the ranks is, and I'm a military spouse.
right.
I mean,
But
Tom's
I mean,
retired now, but I
did
couldn't tell you.
you like? Is that what you expected as you were reading? Like, is that what you were expecting from each character side, or did you have any expectations?
I still don't get it. Like, was Gardner like a plant? They talked about like pruning
I
off
Okay, so I
Blue.
was
Like, was she a seed? Like,
so
I
this
don't
is how
fucking get
I
it.
was seeing it. Garden was God, Commandant was Satan. Good and
You think it's
evil.
a heavenly war?
I think it's good versus evil. I think green because I think
That's
garden is
interesting because
garden is
I
building and you know, like most of the time garden is healing things. Sometimes they're destructing it, but sometimes they're healing things. And red is fixing shit and there for the evil stuff, but they're not always doing the bad thing. So I
that
think it's a that.
that's interesting because I got the opposite feeling. I felt like
Hmm.
Blue was on the wrong side
Interesting.
and Red was on the good side.
Interesting. See, but that's the point of this fucking book, right?
Is it though?
I don't goddamn know. I didn't write it. Okay, let's talk about the Seeker.
Okay.
The Seeker became a big part of the book. He/she is constantly follow on the bootstraps of red and blue throughout
Mm-hmm.
time and strands. What did you
Mm-hmm.
think of this? Is this one of them just following them in time,
Mm-hmm.
or is it another agent? I don't know. I really
So
don't. So can you explain it to me?
this is what I think, but I don't. They don't answer it. So I'm just
No.
going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
I think it is Red going back through time during that time where she's going back to find Blue after Blue
Consuming
kills
it.
herself. She's consuming all of these pieces of them to hide their tracks. And that makes
Oh.
sense to how Commandant couldn't figure out that they had actually communicated.
But then how did Red get back in time? That's never explained.
She kept going down Thread.
I don't know. It didn't make sense to me.
Or
It
was it up
didn't.
Thread? Which one was the future and which one was the past? It's like we don't even care
It's not.
about
It,
podcasting.
it's not even that we don't care. It's like we didn't read a full novel. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's not like we didn't
Mhm.
spend.
I promise I read it.
We did. I read all of this. I even read the acknowledgments. I read the reader's guide. I did all the things in this book. I
Hmm.
don't understand it.
Hmm.
I don't understand it.
So I texted my friend Megan and Florida Megan. Um, Time travel books are like kind of her favorite.
Uh huh.
That's like a preferred genre of hers. And I texted her and said, "I'm reading this book called How to Lose the Time War, and I really don't understand it." And she goes, "Is it time travel?" And I was like, "Yes."
Sure.
She was like, "Oh, well then maybe I'll like it." I was like, I
No.
don't I don't think you will." Like,
Is Tom planning on reading this?
I don't know.
Tom, will you read this, please? And tell us and do a Tom quick take and just explain it to everybody for us, please.
He may need to, because then this is what Megan said. I explained to her what was happening and she goes, "Oh, that's boy time travel."
Tom, is this boy time
I
travel?
was like, I don't know. I don't really like time travel. There's only been one time
Help.
travel novel that I have liked. Um, because I feel
I
like
like
they,
time travel novels normally.
huh?
I usually like books like
There's
this.
only been one that I felt like really did a good job, and that is All Our Wrong Todays. Or is it Tomorrow's? One of those. All Our Wrong Todays, I think.
I don't think I've read that.
It was originally when we first season started making a list of books we really thought we should put on
Uh-huh.
pod. It was on my very, very original
Oh,
list.
your first TBR for the pod.
Yes, because I had already read it and I thought you would enjoy it, but it doesn't really match the vibe of the pod.
Mm. But
But it
now
was
we read
really good.
everything, so fucking throw it on maybe. It might be better than this book.
It
Uh,
would be better than this book.
Near the end of the book, Red and Blue realize that their time together is becoming limited. But
Mhm.
they still write each other, even when the Commandant make Red world on the poison letter and work on the poison letter. Work on the poison letter. Good job, Molly. Good
Mhm.
job, past
Mhm.
Molly. You can write letters, notes. Commandant makes Red work on the poison letter and send it to Blue. Did you
Mhm.
think Blue would read it and die? Or did you,
I understood why Blue did read the letter, even though she knew it would kill her, that it was poisonous. I
right?
understood that she did it because at this point she loved Red enough to know that if she didn't read it and
Mm-hmm.
or if she didn't eat it,
Right.
then um which side note, that is one of the way that they read letters is
It's
they like
consume it physically.
consuming them.
Yeah.
Like at one point Red puts it behind her eye. I don't really understand. But anyway, um
Behind her eye, physically. She would
yeah.
like take her eyeball out and in her mechanics shove letters
Mhm.
and put her eye back and then store it there and read it.
Mhm. But Blue had
Make your
decided that
mistake,
if
guys.
she Blue had decided that if she didn't consume the letter, which was poisonous,
Mm-hmm.
that Red would get in trouble,
Yeah.
and she didn't want that for her. So she just kills herself.
She just dies. She's like, you know what? It's okay. I've died once. I'll die again. It's fine. Which I don't remember her dying, but for some reason she
She
died.
didn't die. What happened was when she was 7,
Mm-hmm.
she was infected, and this is going to
Mm.
lead us to the next question. She was infected by the other side, by
Right.
Commandant's side.
Right.
And because this happened, she got very sick, and Garden
Put her to
cut
bed.
her off, like
Yeah.
pruned her off so that she could heal before she came back.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
She didn't die.
No,
That's what
he
happened.
put her to bed. Literally, he put her in the ground and covered it in soil.
Mm-hmm.
And so this perfectly leads into the next question.
Mm-hmm.
This book ends in a letter. Blue is
Mm-hmm.
alive again. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like this ending? We're literally the last letter goes, "I'm alive. You're alive. It's time for us to be together. Fuck the world. We're gonna take over."
This is how we win the time war.
Anyway.
Um, so I'm going to sort of deviate from this question a little bit to
Okay.
give you my full answer of why I didn't like this ending.
Okay.
So we have this story that I just mentioned about
Mm-hmm.
when Blue was 7, she was cut off because
Yep.
she was infected by the other side. So when Blue dies and Red discovers that Blue is dead, she goes into this rage spiral of guilt
Rage. Yeah.
and she's
Anger. She like all the
she's
things.
not in a good place. Like they try to like imprison her, like her own side's imprisoning her.
Yeah.
She's breaking out, she's killing everyone. She's
She's
really
traveling through
violent.
time. She's
Right.
destroying shit.
She's heading back through time to find Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to when Blue was infected by the other side, and it turns out that she's the one that infected her.
Mm-hmm.
That is clever, except the way that she did it. When I read this part, I was so incredibly fucking angry because the way that Red infects Blue is by kissing her. This grown up
Kissing
kisses
a
the
child.
7-year-old.
Yeah, the child.
And I think it's supposed to symbolize that they've been inside each other all along, that they've been a part of each other all along. But this is the reason why I do not like time travel books.
Symbolizes pedophilia.
They're one of the most popular time travel books, The Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah.
That book, he goes back in time frequently to when his wife is a child and tells her someday we'll be married.
Yeah.
And then on her 18th birthday takes her virginity because, well, what does it matter anyway? She's my wife. And tell me that's not grooming.
What bothered me more is the sex with his teenage self a lot.
Oh yeah, he went back in time and gave himself a blowjob. I was
Yeah,
just like,
he
that
used to,
happened on like the fourth page of the book, and I was like, I'm out. But I read the whole thing because we did it for our former book
book
club.
club. Yeah.
This book is the same. You've got this whole idea of, well, we belong together because
It's a metaphor, though.
in one point in time, I infected you through my love by kissing you.
Right,
And that is grooming and pedophilia.
but in the beginning, they talk about how Blue is an adult and Red is 13. So, like, we don't know how old either of them are throughout this whole novel. Like, they don't talk about age.
Because it's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. But I'm still not okay with it. So
No.
I know you haven't watched it yet, but I watched the 4-part docuseries on it's called Quiet on the Set. We'll put a link
Yeah.
to the IMDb below, but it's about the heyday of the 90s and early 2000s of Nickelodeon and like the
Like the
things that,
Amanda Show, all
yeah,
that in that time frame.
that stuff, like it's about the stuff that happened to those kids. And so I am not a fan of Ariana Grande. Like I just kind of find her annoying, and I've never quite gotten over her like licking the donut in the donut
I
store. Like
don't.
I don't understand that. But
Well, she's not a girl's girl. She's cheated on several husbands and stolen. She's not a girl's girl.
well, anyway, I'm never going to deny that she's talented. She has an amazing voice. But um watching that docuseries and seeing, so I was too old to have watched the Nickelodeon
Yeah.
shows that she was on, but watching the positions that they put her in, she had a whole thing where she was in bed and pouring water on herself and milking a potato and like this.
Mm-hmm.
And she had her bra hanging and she would put melons in it and lick her own feet. And
Oh
it
yeah,
is incredibly a blatant
gross.
example of over sexualization of teenagers.
Yeah.
And I just have such a problem with this. And this is what we talked about with Chezzy last week. And you missed that episode, go listen. Honestly, that's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done.
It's a great episode.
This is one of the things we talk about. As young women, when we start showing signs of puberty, then it's like the men are like, oh, look at her, she's coming into her magic, she's becoming a woman. And by the way,
Y'all are nasty. Stop that
a
shit.
second shout out to Florida Megan. There is an interview at the end of the audiobook for the Grace Year with the author, and she talks about her inspiration for writing the book, and Megan pointed it out to me, and so I went back and listened to it, and she was basically inspired to do it because she watched an old man leer at a woman, a young woman, a 13-year-old, and then she watched another woman look at that 13-year-old like she was competition.
Fuck is
And
wrong with people?
I just really have an issue with that. And to me, I think they were trying to make it romantic in this book, that like they've been a part of each other all this time and they are time travelers, so it's supposed to matter. But I don't like that. I don't like that you predispose that this is
You're insinuating it's grooming.
It is.
It's insinuating it's grooming.
It is. And I don't like it.
Boo.
And so this book went from a solid 3 to me. I rated a 1.5. Damn. I gave it a 1.5 because there is a story here that's original. Mm-hmm. But I'm sorry, I am never going to support a book that is pedophilia.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about for this book?
No, I really don't.
Okay. So let's talk about Annapolis and what's coming up.
All right. Well, first, next week, we're going back to Allie Hazelwood, and we are reading Bride, which is her first dive into paranormal romance.
And I will start this off next week, but I have the Afterlife version.
British imports. It is a vampire and a werewolf, and they get married. And I've read like, I'm on page 4, and they've never met each other, but they're marrying each other in sort of a like to to bring peace between the two.
Nice.
All right, so that's what we're doing next week, and then we have one more book this month. And you have it? Okay. So the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
Super cute, super fun, super light. We're gonna have a good time with that.
I think so. I think we're gonna have a good time with Bride as well.
Yes.
And we have an interview with the author duo Liv Constantine.
I'm so excited about this, guys.
This is the first time we've got to interview a pair of authors, and so we're really excited about it. And that will be later in this month, and we're doing that so we can prepare for Annapolis Book Festival, because we have lots of books to read. So we'll be reading The Senator's Wife for Liv Constantine. I apologize, I don't have a copy of that up here with me right now.
Yes.
But these are the authors we'll be interviewing live.
I have 2 of the books.
Okay. So we will be interviewing the author of Good Different, and her name is Meg Eden Kuwat. Is that how how you say your last name?
Kuwat? Yeah, Kuwat. That's how I want to say that. Kuyatt. Kuwat.
And we'll ask her. But this is it's a middle grade novel about a neurodivergent girl, and Meg herself is neurodivergent. Then we're gonna do Queens of London by Heather Webb. This is historical fiction, which is,
I've already finished this book. I really dug this book. I have a lot of questions, Heather. I have so many questions. Questions, woman.
I just realized that the blurb on the back of this book is Stephanie Dre, which is funny we are also talking to Stephanie Dre.
Which that book just came out on the 14th
of March, yeah.
So I haven't had a chance to read it. It's up next.
This is a thick one.
It is a thick bitch.
But Becoming Madam Secretary by Stephanie Dre, we'll be talking to her. And I'm pretty sure she and Heather are in a panel together.
Yes, they are.
At Annapolis Book Festival. Then we're also going to be reading Excavations and talking to Kate Myers. And I finished this one, and it's so funny.
I heard it's super good.
It's really good.
I heard it's so good. I heard it's funny.
It's very funny. Like, yes, you will like this one, Molly. And then we are also going to be talking to Tara Shelton Harris and her book,
excited about
One Summer in Savannah.
When Tara finally, when we got the green light for her, I was like, yes!
I know, me too. Yes! And then, small podcast world, when she emailed us back to tell us that she was in, she was like, yeah, I'm friends with Nikki Payne, and I just listened to her episode, and it was so good. So I'm so excited to
Us too, boo! Us too! We love Nikki!
I know! But it was just so funny, because she's friends with Nikki, who we love, and she listened to our episode and was like, this makes me excited to be on there. So it's this is so cool.
The fact that we can make you feel comfortable is fantastic, yo.
Yeah. And by the way, all 5 of these authors this year appeared on both of our lists.
Yep.
Last year, and Liv Constantine too was on both of our lists. Last year, we kind of bartered for some. It was like, hey, I want to do this one. I want to do this one. I want to do this one. But this year, all of these women were, we wanted.
As soon as we saw it. Because
we saw the list and we're like,
these are all talented women.
Yeah. Yeah.
All talented women. And honestly, we weren't skipping the guys. There is no male fiction authors this year that are vibing with us. Most of the male authors this year are nonfiction. And
the only one that I was interested in was the children's book illustrator. Because
not really our content.
He's not our content, but I'm a children's librarian. So, but I can't wait.
What? That is news to me.
Fuck you, respectfully. But I can't wait, because I just think these are it's going to be good.
And remember, guys, we are going to be live on the 27th.
And we are streaming to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And YouTube. We're doing all 3 this year.
Saturday.
And then it will be recorded as well and turned into a pod audio episode. So if you don't follow us streaming, or you don't follow our YouTube, you can listen to the audio. Tom just has to package it all together.
He will. He's awesome at that.
Yeah, he is. And last year was just so much fun.
It was.
And I
We're gonna have a
mean,
blast this year too.
yeah, we've
Right.
already interviewed Trish, who is the like chair of the event.
She
And
runs
so
the things. Trish is Annapolis Book Festival, guys.
mhm. And you'll get to hear pieces of that. I don't know, maybe Tom can tack
Maybe
some of the interview
we don't
onto
know.
to this episode. And then
Tom does his magic, man. We don't ask questions.
yeah. Listen, the intro he did for last week's episode, I literally was dying. I
There
was
will
laughing
always
so
be
hard.
women in rubber.
I was laughing so hard. And then Chezzy saying, well, some of us do both. And I was like, no, no.
Tom knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Uh,
Yeah, so anyway, that's all we got. And
I'll see you next time, guys. I
yeah,
guess.
May we're wrapping up the season.
Woo!
Well, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna have some June episodes because we still wanted to do Pride.
We want to do right, but it's a short season. We're doing the short seasons now, guys. So
Yeah, because we're rolling into my busy season, and I'm gonna do Smut Girl Summer with Nurse Katie. And yeah,
maybe it'll be my smut girl summer too, and I'll write a smutty book.
that would be great. It would be really great if you would just finish a book.
I would really like to finish my book.
You were so funny with Chezzy last week.
That woman talks about publishing like it's just going to the bathroom. It's so fucking rude.
But she has a lot of books that are not published yet.
Right.
So
right. But finished novels.
Yeah, they're finished.
Bitch. I love you, Chelsea.
Her brain is remarkable.
I love talking to her just about literary. Okay, this is not nothing. Like, we don't need to talk about this on pod.
Yeah, but we still have 10 minutes to fill the hour, so fine with me.
Her brain's just remarkable. The way she analyzes fiction and just sees it, it's just like we said, guys, go listen to the fucking episode. You have no idea what you're missing.
Yeah, she's really
no idea what you're missing. So,
and today is the anniversary of the release of Grey Fair. Actually,
happy anniversary!
On my memories.
Happy anniversary! So.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it.
I have nothing else, guys. We will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Trish from the Annapolis Book Festival with us. Thank you for joining us today, Trish. There was so much food there last year. Yes. Can you give us a preview of who's coming this year for your food trucks?
Yes. Last year was the third year, I think, we offered the food trucks. And every year we've added like a couple more because the past 2 years we've run out of food by like 3 o'clock.
So this year we added there was lines last year, guys. They had the Cal one, the ice cream place, and there was a line halfway through the field.
Yes, we have them back again. It's Sweet Satisfaction.
Yes, that's it.
Smoothies, ice cream. We have PK Mobile Kitchen, which is fabulous chicken and burgers. And then new this year is Picante, is Mexican food, new restaurant downtown. We also have One a Pizza This, which I'm excited about. Greek on the Street. They were here last year, I believe.
That sounds good.
The Daily Crepe and Seafood Again by Chef John, Crabtown Cuisine.
Guys, the Annapolis Book Festival
is April 27th from 10 to 5, all day, all free, open to all. On Instagram, we are Annapolis Book. And then on Facebook, it's Annapolis Book Festival. And then, of course, go to our website, AnnapolisBookFestival.com.
Thank you for joining us on Book Besties. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The views discussed here are those of April and Molly and not those of anyone else. Today's book was This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. Your book besties are Molly Biggs and April Watkins. Editing by Thomas Watkins and music is Sleep Sweetly by Brigida. Don't forget to follow the Book Besties on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you'd like to contact the Book Besties, please email us at bookbestiespod@gmail.com or visit our website, bookbestiespodcast.com. Until next time, besties, get lost in your favorite book.